to start with, how have your first few days been?
It's been a big week. And Monday was a big day for the club. Thought it was important Monday to give everybody an opportunity to process the day how they needed to, and do Monday as well as we could. But then importantly, front up Tuesday as a collective and move forward and get to work. We've obviously got a game tomorrow night, which is really important for us. So post Monday, it's been around our preparation, and I couldn't be prouder, I guess, in how our people and our players have fronted up.
When did the conversation get to you that you'd be the interim coach, and how did that all play out?
It played out Monday. I arrived at the club none the wiser, I suppose, and then I've always been someone that's club first, and when they came to me with this opportunity, I was happy to jump in and start the process of helping this club move forward.
How do you go about getting the players moving forward and looking forward to just playing footy again?
Well, I think there's still so much to be gained. We've got time on our side, and the messaging has been early days around how we do get better collectively and individually. So that's the challenge that's in front of us. I've seen a really galvanised playing group and galvanised club. So in terms of that aspect, I feel like we're all heading in the same direction. But given the time frame we've got, this will evolve and continue to move forward, and we'll explore what that looks like. I think it's important we get to tomorrow night and be the best versions of ourselves and play a brand of footy that excites our supporters.
What are you going to change?
Well, again, I think given that we have time on our side, I think the changes will evolve in that time. I think also if you consider and look at the football we've played, there's been some exciting parts to our game. We haven't been consistent enough over 4 quarters, we acknowledge that. And there's some scenarios and some momentum swings that we need to manage a lot better than what we have. But we'll take a really considered approach to how we evolve the way we play and what that looks like from a system perspective and also a personnel perspective.
As you say, you've shown that they can play good football, just not for a long time during games. So what do you put it down to? Is it mentality, like drop-offs exactly? Mentality, is it skills, or is it something breaking down in the system?
I don't think it's one thing. I think that largely it's about how we manage momentum shifts in games. There's a connection piece on field with that. There's a belief component to that in terms of persisting with the way we want to play. And we've got to continue to train it. I think that's something that we can get to work on in the next 14 weeks and how we manage those moments and what it looks like for individuals in certain moments. So that's the process we've started, and that's something we'll continue to work through.
How are some of the more experienced players like Patrick that have been here for a few coaches exiting before, how have they handled it all?
Couldn't speak highly enough of our leaders, and Cripper's at the forefront of that. I guess firstly the support that he's shown myself and everybody else in the footy department, his desire to drive and take the club forward in the next 14 weeks. And then the way he spoke in front of the group around Vossi's departure and the love and respect, and I guess acknowledging what Vossi has done for this club in his time. So I think our leaders have been outstanding. Again, they're in a space like all of us where we want to encourage them to continue to grow, not only their leadership, but their on-field performances. So he's motivated by that challenge.
When you talk about changes, are you looking at positional changes with players as well in the next 3 months or so?
Yeah, we will. We'll certainly look at that. We will. I guess what this gives us is an opportunity for our experienced players to continue to get better, and that's something that we want to challenge and push really hard, because that notion of how we get better is not isolated to our younger players. But we will consider what selection looks like from week to week, and it has to be a considered approach because we want to make sure that the players coming into the team are well prepared and well set up, and when they get their opportunity, they're supported by experienced players and leaders on field. So that's certainly something I'm aligned with throughout the club, that we keep evolving and keep exploring, but I don't think it has to be done in 1 week.
And a lot of the VFL team's been going pretty well. Some of the young players there from Ben Campbell, some of the guys you're going to look at getting into the team in the coming weeks?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's worth acknowledging the form our VFL team's been in, and a lot of credit to our Damien Truslove, who's coaching down there, and our development coaches. I think they're doing a terrific job. So we've got players that are in form, which is pleasing. And that's something that we'll continue to push around our selection integrity, making sure that players are in form at both levels, and then off the back of that we can consider what changes we make. But again, it's important that, particularly for younger players, that we're zeroing in on areas of their game they need to improve and grow, and that's the process we'll go through now.
Yeah, but it's almost a bit about Jack Ison. He looks like a really exciting young kid that the guys got around him when he was announced the other day.
Yeah, really exciting. I think he's our first NGA Indigenous player to come through the club and earn an opportunity. I think it's important we understand he's really earned his opportunity. And that's probably something that's been skipped over a little bit. I mean, Jack comes in as a first gamer, Jagger's first season effectively. I know he was here last year. Harry Dean's been playing some terrific footy, and Billy Wilson will play again after coming into the side last week. So there's a sprinkling of youth there, which we're excited about. But Jack in particular, I think it's worth celebrating his debut. So Doug Nichols' round also, pretty significant for him, and we're really excited to see what he can do.
How would you describe your coaching philosophies sort of generally, and what do you think has moulded you most along your coaching journey?
Well, largely my coaching journey has been through development and having been able to coach my own teams, which I've loved. I guess my philosophy is built largely around creating an environment where you're challenging people to get better every day, and that's staff, that's players. I'm a big believer in the habits that you develop Monday to Friday, turn up game day. So that's the environment I want to try and push over the next 14 weeks.
And how keen are you for the top job permanently?
Well, I'm ambitious and I want to be a senior coach at some point. I guess as we stand here right now, I probably don't think I'm quite ready. But what this opportunity does give me is a chance to jump in the driver's seat, learn a lot about myself, and hopefully at the end of it be better placed.
So you wouldn't put your hat in the ring then?
No, I think right now I'm focused on how we collectively move this club forward. I think this is not my job. I'm an interim coach, but I've got a job to do, and that is help the club over the next 14 weeks be better placed.
This might be too simplistic, but is there a sort of pass mark for the rest of the season?
I think that's a difficult one to answer. I think what we will see is change to some degree over that period of time. But we also want to continue to drive winning standards and habits. So I'm probably not in a position to say that these are the things that we will categorically see, other than there's hopefully some comfort in our supporter base knowing that the mindset moving forward will be to explore and be curious as how we get better.
Are you conscious of, clearly there's a need to win, but then also what the club wants to do in the draft, Cody Walker getting the picks they need to get in through?
Yeah, I don't think they're exclusive. I think we can grow and evolve the program still with a mindset to turning up game day and competing to win 4 points. I think that's our responsibility.
Max Gorn said the other day it'd be a big challenge to have an interim coach for 15 or so weeks. How do you say the challenge of a long-term stint as the interim?
I'm not quite sure what Max is alluding to with that. I mean, again, I think my responsibility right now is, along with the other coaching group, is to drive the program forward. So this is not about me. This is not about any individual. This is about a collective approach. And as I spoke to before, our leaders in our playing group are as tight as you could hope for, and as determined as you'd want to see. So I don't foresee any challenges in that space around all of us heading in the one direction. I think it presents, given the runway towards the end of the season, I think this still presents great opportunity, again, for the club to move forward, for individuals to grow, and for us to be better placed when the season comes to an end.
Do you have a message for just Carlton fans just to try and get behind the club, stay behind them? You kind of touched on it, but like a direct sort of message for them?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I need to necessarily send one. And the reason I say that is because it's something in my short time here that's jumped out at me, and that is the passion that this supporter base has. It's largely unconditional. They turn up and support. They want to see their team bring a style of football and a brand of football they can be proud of. And what I would ask for them is to continue to see the things that we're trying to evolve and grow, continue to support the players and the football club, because this is about how we keep moving forward and how we set ourselves up for the future.
Have you heard from Michael since Monday, and has he given you any advice on how to deal with the attention that comes with this club?
I've spoken to Vossi and I've reached out again, and we will catch up at some point. Again, huge admiration for him when he was playing. We've played against each other. Only worked with him for a short period of time, but just love him as a person. I think he's an outstanding person. I love the way he's led under a lot of adversity, and he's one of the best people I've met in football. So I want to maintain contact with him throughout this next while, and continue to offer my support to him, but also lean on him where I feel like I need to.
Were you surprised by Nick Austin's exit at all?
Well, I wasn't privy to that happening, so that's something that I think, other people within the footy club can speak to. Other than, again, known Nick a little bit, he's a quality person, and I'm sure he won't be lost to football. Thanks, guys.